Hi everyone, welcome to my next episode of Deal with Maya. And today I'm very happy to welcome Santos, who will be my very first guest in my podcast.
Thanks.
Hi, Santos.
Hey, Maya. Thank you so much. I mean, it's been a long time we have been in touch, and then finally, yeah, good to see you after so many years. I think we met 2 years ago.
right. We met two
Yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean we met like once a while. We saw each other in the Google I/O and so on. We spoke a bit. Yep. But we talk on Twitter. I mean now X and LinkedIn. So a lot. I follow you. I follow your path, and I must say I'm really inspired by how you deal with a lot of things in your life, and especially that your current job at the staff engineer. That first of congratulations. You want to start with telling us a bit about yourself, how like who you are and whatever you think that the audience will may want to know. Go ahead.
So, yeah, thanks again for the opportunity. Good to be like the first guest on your show. Uh, so hey everyone, Santosh here, and I have been in the community for past 6 years now. So I am one of the Google developer expert, GitHub star, and then Microsoft MVP. I'm also part of a program called NX Champion. And for work, I work at Celonis, so where I work as a staff engineer and mostly taking care of developer experience and developer tooling things. Uh, and apart from that, yeah, I try to do my own podcast as well. So I would love to have you, Maya, as well, because we are going to start recording new episodes. So check out Tech Talks. Sorry, this is Tech Talks. That's the channel where we have been doing. It's our fourth season actually. We have been doing since last 2020. That's where we started. 2021, sorry. And then we have done more than 100 episodes so far.
Wow.
But yeah, it's only YouTube exclusive right now, but we are trying to move to other channels as well. And that's the goal for this year. But life happens. I got busy with some of the stuff, taking care of some important things, which we'll talk about for sure. And yeah, that's the thing. And I just came from a vacation, so it was amazing. And I'm fresh and ready to talk again.
Yeah, sound nice. So, I mean, I think I saw your podcast show out in one of the Google I/O event. Like I remember I saw something about your YouTube channel or something. Is is that true? I
That was
think I
two
saw
years ago,
something
right?
like that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I remember I saw something like that. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
yeah, that was about my Angular course actually. At Google I/O like 2 years ago, that the course actually reached close to 1 million views. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, that was I was surprised to see that as well myself. But yeah, nice gesture from Google.
And are you going to release any book about Angular, or that's the only thing that you do for Angular?
I mean, so I think writing book is some one of my dreams because it takes a lot of time. I mean, to be frank, I really admire the people who can write a book. Uh, it's a lot of work. I mean, believe me, it's a lot of work when I say that. You easily need to invest your next 6 months, and with life after moving to Germany, life going this way, that way, uh, playing ping pong with me. I mean, I couldn't concentrate on doing anything, but that's something which I would love to do in future.
You know what? Actually, I wrote a book. I mean, I wrote one review, but I have to say that's the opposite for me. Like, I have a lot of respect for people who do content on YouTube because writing a book is just like okay, I can sit there in the corner and start writing and looking at this, but it take a lot of that time for you guys to actually sit down there and record it, and sometimes you need to record over and over again. It's not easy. And where do you get all the content come from? Like put and then putting your face on YouTube is like, I'm here for people who comment on you. That's really
That's
huge respect from my side. So,
Yeah, I think it's the same way, right? So the same way I feel like okay, people writing books. Oh my god.
but how was it? Like, was it hard for the YouTube things to when you started?
I would say yes because I was very I'm a very shy guy. So it's like if I have to speak to somebody for the first time, I'll be probably scared. I will probably yeah, try to avoid it. But yeah, once I know you, it's like, yeah, we are the best friends now. So coming on camera, doing YouTube thing was like, of course, very scary for the first. But I think that was the time I went through a phase where I was really, really depressed. I got bullied, and then I was not doing anything for a few months. I just wanted to disconnect
Oh
myself from the
yeah,
community.
I
And
remember. I saw you wrote about it on X,
yeah,
and
so
that was sorry. That was a really nasty experience you have.
it's okay. I think everyone probably in the community that's very common. Then we think about bullying is very common, and yeah, I'm glad like people stood up for me and supported me in that phase. And then I thought like what I want to do next, because I was doing a lot of open source before that bullying thing happened, or a lot of writing before that happened, and then I was not in like my mental state to do more open source or to write more. And then I thought like what I want to do next, else I can do without worrying about this. And then YouTube thing came on. I wanted to do my own podcast, so I started doing something called Tech Talks with Santosh, like 2020. And then eventually, of course, my first episode was not that good, right? I mean, that's how we start, right? I mean, and then
Yeah.
I just wanted to do it. I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do and see how it goes. And then eventually I ended up reiterating, like, see how my camera looks, how the lighting looks, and then improve the quality. And at one point of time, it became not natural. It's like, okay, let's go ahead and do that. And then from I think at the start it was mostly live streams. So I used to go live, and then we used to have discussion, and then eventually over the years that your schedule changes. You cannot do this live stream anymore.
So you did it on 2020, right? So it's like right on Corona period.
See, yeah. So actually, yeah, that was Corona period as well, right? I mean, people were not doing anything online. Sorry, offline. So I was home, mostly spending my time behind this camera.
Yeah, except I remember when the Corona happens, and the first thing I saw everyone go do a podcast. I thought, like, okay, maybe I also do a podcast. So I bought the whole camera, like a very professional camera. This one, like you, if you can see here, this one, and I like, okay, I will support the lining, and then I will probably do that one day, and then I think 5 years later, I'm still not yet have a podcast. Yeah, it requires a lot of effort just to sit down and do it. But so really good
So
job, I must say. But how do you, again, how do you promote that? Like how do you what your uh how do you find it? Like I know the first one probably not good, but then the next one you do it more and more, then you get used to it. But isn't it also still take a lot of times in finding the right niche and finding, and everyone told me that you need to find the right niche for you, and you also need to like edit, put in some background music or some banner thumbnail. How do you do all of that? Like
I'm to be frank, I'm also really bad with it. So I don't know how to edit videos. So I don't do my editing on my own. So this for this year, we actually had another editor. She does all the editing for us, because
wow.
there were complaints that our voice quality was not good. So I was like, okay, I don't know how to take care of it. So we ended up hiring a new editor, and she takes care of everything. And apart from that, like the banners, there's an website called OG Image Maker. I generally use the same, and just put some text, and yeah, there's a logo for podcast, and that's it. So I don't do like very fancy stuff. Of course, our video quality is good, audio quality is good, but the banners and everything, yeah, I'm not that great with that either. And even promotion, right? So promotion is another thing which you have to do. And I try to like publish it on all the social media platform wherever we have connections, and share it with my friends, ask them to share it. That's how probably people will notice this, right? And then going to more channels. For example, of course, you have Google, you have YouTube, but you also have other channels like Apple Podcasts and so many other platforms. So I think sharing there would be great, but the only problem is time, Maya, right? I mean, we have limited time, and if you if you try to do everything on your own, it's not possible. So we
Yeah.
have been thinking about like going on this platforms for a year now, and then something happens, and then we said, okay, let's do YouTube stuff because that's easy to do for now.
Right.
So
I mean, I got it. I actually I use AI to design all my things that I don't want to design. So it's the quality is like okay, it's not some state of art or something, but it's acceptable for me and it's upload the things. So yeah, why not, right? And actually talking about time wise, so I do know that we don't have a lot of time, and you also don't have a lot of time, and especially now that you are a staff engineer. So how did that change? Because staff engineer is the position that consider type of manager. Like you can be a manager or you can be a very high level engineer. So yeah, I don't know about you, but my day is full of meetings and stuff. So how did it go? How do you handle of this on this podcast, content creation, and being available as staff engineer and contribute the most?
uh, putting boundaries, that's very important, right? That's very important when you have to manage your work life balance. So generally I try to like finish all the stuff and look for a specific period of time where I'm like blocked for an hour. I'm not uh, probably looking at the Slack channel or my emails. I'm just focusing on what I have in my hand. Even podcasts, right? So I generally try to do it after work. So I, let's say if I'm doing between 6 to 7, because
Mm-hmm.
my job time is like 9 to 5, right? And after 5, you get like a little bit free time. That's true sometime, but of course, sometimes it goes beyond that. And
Yeah.
then, so that's why we moved to the recording. Like we started recording episodes. We started stop doing live streams because in with live streams the problem is you have to like check your timing, then your guests when they are available, and sometimes it doesn't work. So going like offline recording whenever both are available, you can actually do it anytime, right? I mean, even late in the evening if someone is available and if you are available. So that's how I try to do it. And during that period, I make sure, like, of course, I don't have anything else in my hand, and generally that works out.
But you also need to spend some time for your health, so and your family and so on. You know, like how you been able to manage all of that together. I saw you running, start running, and that's another thing that's really amazing how you do that.
So I never thought like I'll be doing running. To be frank, I mean, I remember like the first 10 kilometers I ran was when I was 24 years. Yeah, I think I was 24, 25. Well, really young, like 14 years ago. And and then last year, of course, things changed. I mean, I got diagnosed with diabetes, and then I was like, okay, what's next, right? I mean, I cannot do this. I cannot just
Right.
rely on what I'm doing because I'm definitely doing something wrong. That's why I have diabetes.
Right.
And then I had to take a step back. I said, okay, let's because there's one thing, right? I mean, I was saying yes to probably so many things, and I had a good discussion about this with the GitHub stars actually. So there's a GitHub Slack channel, very nice people, and I'm happy. I'm lucky like to be part of those people there, and I shared that. Like, of course, most of you have been doing this community thing for many years, right? So many people who are doing open source for quite for a decade actually,
Right.
and probably you went through this in your life and how you tackled this, because it's always good to hear from other people what they did to change things for them. And one thing which stood out is like stop saying yes to everything,
Oh
because
yeah, I know
if you
that.
say, uh, so if you say yes to one thing, you are probably missing 10 different things which is more important than that particular thing. I was like, dude, yes, that's definitely right. I mean, I've been saying so many yes to so many conferences. I was like, okay, let's go to this conference, let's go to that conference. And I was traveling a lot. So in past 3 years, I even don't know like how many countries I've been to. I mean, how many conferences I have spoken at. Sometime I was like probably just jumping between airports, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I think that's the first thing which I should stop. And then I said, okay, no conferences anymore. So this year I was like, I'm on break, not doing any conference talk. And then I wrote down like what I want to do. One thing my doctor suggested is do some sports, walk. And then I started walking, and Frank, I got bored. So when I was walking, I was like, this is very bored, really boring. How can people walk? And then I, right, I mean, let's do few steps. And then I was like, oh, this is nice. I mean, because once I'm running, I'm not thinking about anything. My mind is empty. I'm into my zone. And then after 30 minutes or 1 hour, I'm back home, pretty relaxed, not thinking about anything else. Uh, yeah. So that's how it kicked in. And then I was like, okay, let's do this regularly. And then, of course, after first run, that was exhausting, but now it's habit. And I'm doing my first half marathon on 4th May. It's just 10 days now.
Wow, wow, that's cool. I mean, I also try running. I started running like also 2 years ago, and I also one day I saw I look at me and my weight, and I like I need to do something, and I start running. But yeah, the first 5 kilometers were hard. Was so hard. You out breath. You're like, why am I doing this? I should be at work doing fixing bug, doing things, I and then I also decided to like keep going. Once you pass, I think 21st day they say, or a month, then it's become more natural and going
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
So,
but now I need to go again. I start again because after my maternity leave, I didn't do any sport. It's so hard to just get started.
yeah, I can totally understand.
But yeah, so let's talk about your step being the step engineer. So how do you get a like what do you what how do you get into the position when you decide that that's the path you want to be? Because I noticed that the individual contributor path staff engineer, principal engineer is not very popular among us engineer. Usually they will go from senior and then switch to be a tech lead, switch to be a team lead, and so on and so forth. So really what you see here, why what motivate you to do that?
Yeah, so this is very interesting story. So I was working for a startup like 10 years, yeah, 2025, right? So 10 years ago, probably. And I joined that startup in 2011. And you know, startups, right? So you like get a lot of work. It's very fast moving. And I was young, I was crazy. So I wanted to do stuff. I was like tackling all the issues which I was getting. So suddenly I saw like myself moving to senior engineer. And then I took the same path. I was really inspired by my managers. I was like, hey, they're doing amazing stuff. Like they are like people person. They know how to handle situations, and I was like, okay, let's do that. And then suddenly I was asked to handle production support team, and I was like, yeah, let's do that because I want to try it out this manager thing, right?
As part of say yes, right?
Yeah, yeah. As part, I think it was more. I was more. Maybe I had more energy. Like I was young, right? I mean, I was how much? So 14, like 14 years ago, I was 25. You know, and then I was like, okay, let's do this because I wanted to do this. I was because before like I got into that startup for 3 years, I was struggling. I mean, it's like I was getting a job but no work, and I really wanted to prove myself that I'm a good engineer. Uh, and I wanted to take every opportunity which I get, like just go ahead and kill this, move to new things, and then this is suddenly my manager asked me like, hey, do you want to handle this production support because we get a lot of issues in production. And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do that. So I ended up having 4 people team, and then we did amazing job. Like those 4 people, I like amazing team I had.
Right.
And then they saw that okay, I built an amazing team which was struggling because when I took over that team, it was like they wanted to let people go from
Oh,
that team. It was like that horrible time, and then they were like was one of the most performing, like outperforming other teams. So they said, okay, let's move, let's give more teams, right? And then I became team lead officially, and then I started handling more teams. And after doing it for 2 years, I was like, no, this is not what I want to do because most of the time I was just speaking to different
managing.
teams. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I wanted to write code, and then I went again. I just went into this process, like what I really want to do with my career, why I became an engineer. So my then I thought like, okay, so when I wrote the code for the first time, this is what I thought. Like, hey, this is amazing feeling. I can build something for someone and
Right.
I'm solving a real-time issue. Here I'm just meeting people entire day and doing nothing else. I mean, I'm not getting that much time. And the worst, when I realized that no, this is not going to scale, is when I ended up doing my first big promo cycle. I was doing promotion for a month. I was just like meeting people, meeting team members every day because suddenly I had 32 people in my team. So from
Wow.
32, I was like, no, no.
That's really like a senior director or something level. Because 32 is a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. And then I asked, of course, I went back, I spoke to my manager and said, like, I want to move to IC role and I don't want to give up suddenly. So reduce the team, reduce the number of people I have as a reporting. And they never cared about. And then the new manager came who was very toxic. And then I ended up leaving anyways. But then I thought, like, no, management is not the stuff I want to do. I went back and I was enjoying it like when went back and that was a difficult time as well because people generally don't trust you if you're coming from manager to IC. You know, I mean,
Right.
I'm sure might have been there as well that, hey, you are managing team. How can you write a code? Of course,
Yeah,
that's what I do.
I don't get it experience that like I don't get that experience, but I know someone have. I mean, also my husband just moved from management position to an IC role, and one of the things the thing they asked him in the interview, like, why are you moving back into IC role? It's like once you get to management, it's harder to move back because you don't really have a hands-on experience on certain subject, and yep. So it's not so common to do so though.
Exactly. I mean, so of course that was early 2016, and I was getting so many rejections because people thought like, hey, this is
Yeah.
manager and he won't be able to write code. But somehow I managed. I got into IC role, and then I did my 5 6 years in India again. So I moved to another city called Pune. I was doing individual contributor role, and then started doing like open source in 2019. And suddenly, of course, COVID happened, and of course, that was the time I don't have to prove anyone because I was doing a lot of open source. I was writing about stuff, so people knew me, uh, and then
Mm-hmm.
I ended up coming to Germany. And with Celonis, of course, I joined as a senior engineer. And one good thing was, I think my manager realized early that uh, uh, I should be like part of a different team, which is actually taking care of all developer experience stuff and improving our code base and those. So that was like my niche because I was doing this for other companies. Like I was consulting
Right.
with other companies, solving those issues for them, and I really liked that role. And I ended up like finding issues, like suggesting, okay, we can do this, we can do this to improve our code base, code quality. And but the only problem was I was doing things, but I was coming from a depression. So I
Mm-hmm.
like I was not confident enough. I was not like I was doing stuff. I was like, okay, I'm doing things. These things are moving, things are improving. But you know, to apply for a promotion, you need to have that confidence that
Right.
I really deserve it. People are telling me that you're doing a great job, but where is my confidence? And that was like, of course, I joined around August 2022, so it will be 3 years soon. And then 23, 22, 23, I was just traveling. I was like doing stuff, mo- going to conferences, speaking about like different stuff, Angular, NX, and I was making impact like from the organization point of view as well because my manager was like, "Hey, whatever you're doing amazing stuff because it is helping in hiring as well." I was getting those feedbacks, but again, my depression after that period, like after moving to Germany, initial few months were hard, so my confidence level was like really low, and then 24, I was like, I will apply for promotion this year. And then I got the news that
Right.
I got,
You
I,
will never know what you get, right? You never
yeah,
know what you get until you try it.
yeah, exactly. And then I want to really go for it. And then suddenly got the news that I have a diabetes. And then I spoke to my manager and said, let's wait. I think I need to fix something else before we go for it, right? And my manager said, yes, take your time. I remember, like, as soon as I got the news, I went for a vacation. I went to Amsterdam, very nice city. I mean, if you have been there, it's very beautiful during spring.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it was
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I like Amsterdam a bit, but I think I prefer England better than Amsterdam. But that's a different thing.
So when that came back, and then I said, let's now. Uh, then I started running, and then I also went back on board and said, hey, I have done this 10 things, different things which can help me for promotion, but I think I'm looking for one big impact project, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is where really you need to work with your manager. I mean, because getting promotion is not something where you just do stuff and then never talk
Yeah.
about it. You have to also check with your managers that whatever you're doing, is it like making an impact, or what is the most important thing for the organization right now. And that's how I ended up doing accessibility. So I was just
Oh,
having, yeah, I was having a chat with my manager, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for a project where I think one more project where I can make a bigger impact than what I have done, which makes sure that I get promoted. And then my manager was like, yeah, we have accessibility, and it's like one of the project which is like, of course, very critical for us because we want to retain this client. And I ended up taking that project. And once we like delivered that project, I was like, now I'm more confident. And by that time, I started running. I started getting more clarity. That why I was less confident on things,
right.
because of course I was fighting through this invisible battle, right? I had diabetes for probably more than a year, but I never thought about it. I was so busy traveling, speaking at conferences, meeting new people, delivering stuff at work. I never thought about my health. I forgot to, like, this one thing
Y-
which people tell you, right? If you don't take care of your health will take care of you, and
Right. Exactly.
you will not like it. You will not like it,
Yeah.
and definitely.
I heard that, and I'm like, I'm scared of that. So I better take care of myself. Yeah, but yeah, having diabetes is not easy. So not easy. I had my dad had diabetes for about, I think, 20 something years, 25, 30 years. And I saw how he lived. My mom's keeping very strict diet and really strict. Right? So, but then it keep him very long time from on the same level and not going up. So yeah, it's something that is like wake up call and really shaking you up. So
True, true.
yeah,
Yeah.
and talking about the 7 years. So we say so from what you sharing with me, it actually feeling so something similar to what my experience also. So like technically you need to have big impact, like an impact. And that one, the only thing you can do is have to be aligned with the company or the organization scope, and need to check with the managers to align that this is the impact that will get you promoted, or this is the impact that you're looking for. And of course, you also need to do a lot of mentorship to make the impact within the team and cross team in order to basically like a visibility, make promote for yourself. And in the end, coding is also good, but at this point, your technical is already strong enough. And they would not kind of look in how many code you push to the system, or more like how many problems you're solving that will bring the impact and mentorship to the company.
Exactly, agreed. So
Yeah.
that's
It's
and that part was already there in my profile because I was speaking at conferences. I had like
oh yeah. Yeah, that's
MVP,
also
GitHub star, so all those things was already there. Just needed some, and then within organization also, of course, we were doing internal
right.
sessions, knowledge sharing, helping developers to figure out like what's best or what is the best architecture to follow, and that was already there. But yeah, you need to actually go ahead and share, right? You need to align with your
Right.
managers.
But you also need to be confident, like believe in yourself. I mean, and the other day I listened to a podcast, and then one of the quote that the host said, I found it's pretty true. He said, "The moment that you know you're ready, it's already too late." Like so, you just need to apply and believe in that you're going to make it or go. You deserve a promotion. And you're ready for the next role. Otherwise, when you know that you're ready, which you will never be ready. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So sounds right. Especially when you talk about accessibility, it's like, oh my God, accessibility is like everyone know that how important it is, but no one want to do it. But it's have a huge impact of everything.
So
So, but how do you find the accessibility working with accessibility so far? Like, do you working with it before? You work with Angular, right? So, was it different from the normal web accessibility, or it's the same thing?
it's about the web accessibility, right? So our product is used by many companies, and now banks as well. So wanted us to be more accessible. Like some part of the apps were not accessible, so we started working on it. Now we are setting up the processes. So this is where most of my time and my team's time goes into. So try to put up boundaries, right? I mean, of course, you can go ahead and fix accessibility, and it will come back again. But
Yeah, but you need to set priorities for
e-
that.
exactly. So
And but yeah,
yeah,
so another thing I wanted to ask is, do you some people tell me that being a staff engineer that you need to have to know everything. Do you think that's true? Like know everything in the system, everything. Like whenever someone asks you a question, you should know the answer. Is that true? Because I feel like that a bit ambiguous, like something like really not true for me at least. So I don't know. I want to hear about what your opinion on that.
agree with you. I mean, it's not something like you can know everything in your system. And believe me, I used to feel bad. So when I started working at Celonis, I used to feel bad that whenever some people asking something and I
Right,
gave an answer or I didn't knew about it, and then I realized, look, it's a teamwork. Probably I don't know about it, but my other teammate knows about it. So
right,
we got into this sync, right, where we know our strong areas. So let's say if someone is asking about, hey, let's say we want to write this new code, what will be the better architecture? So my teammate pings me and tags me, hey Santosh, this is your area, and I think you can guide them better. If I have something related to some other area which my other teammate is good at, so
right,
I tag him, say, hey, can you look into this because we know each other's strong areas, and that's how you grow in your career, right? You're not trying to do everything on your own, even like
right,
not only your team. I mean, for someone who is like our team is like org wide, right? So we help all the front end developers, so we like support close to 200, 300 developers. We work with them. So if someone from them is actually doing some good thing, so we also try to highlight those and try to
right.
get them involved more. So they're also getting highlighted, right? They are also getting the visibility that hey, this guy is actually doing amazing job. So that's how you grow. Because if you're doing like answering everything, you are jumping into every other question, then you're just stopping at this.
So it's like
And
also including leveling up,
yeah, leveling up.
level.
Yeah,
Ah, the wording is so hard. Leveling up.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So that's how you grow in your career, and then you leave some stuff, you move into more important issues. So yeah, that's how.
Yeah, I mean we can always write the solution. Probably would take us like 5 minutes to write it, but if we don't list that to someone else that to write it and learn about it, then we end up no one grow, and we also didn't grow.
Yeah,
So
and
I
then
also learn about that.
yeah, you'll be doing that same stuff 10 times.
Then you will probably feel like, oh yeah, I'm so good, I can solve it, but actually you're the only good one here. So
Exactly. Yeah,
no, but
that's very
no, it's like don't try to be the best one in the team. Like try to be know where which one to delegate. So being helpful is good.
yeah,
So yeah.
true.
And we have about 5 more minutes until our recording. So I would say anything you want to share with the team, with the audience. Because I know that have a lot of engineers have been, it's including myself, wasn't interested in the path of being a manager, but really want to know that how to get there because it's not an easy track. Someone would say, "Oh, you need to be an expert in Angular, for example. You need to be an expert in Java, for example, in order to be considered principal or staff and so on." But I feel like it's not really the case, and a lot of misconception here. So, anything you want to add in before we move into a different things?
Yeah. So of course, like this is sometimes just feel like you're not ready, but you have been doing the stuff which is needed for the staff engineer. And one thing which people often say is start working as or take over the role which you already want, right? I mean, if you want a staff engineer role, go ahead and study about it, what the role is, and this is where books are very important.
Oh
So
yeah,
I ended up actually reading the staff engineer's path, right? And then I got more clarity that
you mean
I
this
want to
one?
become. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a great one. I
yeah,
also start reading that. I like
yeah,
this
definitely.
is a great book.
Yeah,
Really, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it gave me clarity because in that book there were things I was doing. Actually, I was already doing this. I was like, hey, then I'm ready. I think I'm ready for staff engineer's role because I'm doing all this stuff. I check all this, and that's how you move into different roles, right? I mean, sometimes it's like, of course, you're doing stuff, but you're not aware what you're doing or what
Right.
role you are actually playing within the team. Go ahead and
Yeah.
read. If you want to become a staff, I would definitely recommend Staff Engineer's Path. Go ahead and read it. If you want to become manager, I think there are more books, and there's a good thing about maybe for you is like if you have a great engineer, a great manager in your team, speak to them, book
Right.
some coffee time, have a chat with them, like why they became engineer, learn from them. Sorry, why they became manager, learn from them, and what they think. Like if you want to become a manager, what you qualities you need, get the feedback,
Mm,
and that's how
definitely.
you grow into different roles.
Do you have a mentor like to guide you through the way, or you just
I mean, of course.
just
When I joined Celonis, as I said, like I was very depressed. I was coming from all this depression. My coworkers, like I will say, I really got a great team to work with. So my coworkers, like they're really um, great. So they ended up getting me a lot of feedbacks initially when I joined, and I worked on those. So this is one more thing that whenever people are giving you feedback, go ahead and like think about it, what they really mean, because one of trait of engineers, I would say, not engineers but coders, is to take to attach themselves to what they write or what the code they write, right? I mean, we feel attacked, we feel attacked.
right, right.
How the hell someone gave me this
Well,
review?
that the review is very hard. Like a feedback review, code review is very hard to accept. Like you
So
have to fight your ego, or your internal self. So
and even in the cases where people or your teammates says, hey, why did you reply this, like this is wrong, so don't take those personally, right? I mean, of course you can be wrong, we are all people, right?
yeah, I mean, we will probably take this personally anyway because that's our nature. But you need to always understand that you don't really need to feel bad about receiving it. It's just they give you feedback, which means they really care about you. They want you to
Exactly.
improve. Some feedback is actually toxic, yes, but you need
Of
to
course.
know how to filter it out. But yeah,
Exactly.
one of the key. And yeah, it's like it's how to say it's important to have a team and important to have a managers that really ready for push you away, push you up, not push you away, push you
Yeah,
up, and plan with you the promotions. Otherwise, I think it's not easy to get done with.
exactly.
Even
Yeah,
yeah, I think even the book, like we read about the book, but the book also say you need to talk to manager in one on one. You need to make sure that
exactly.
he aware that you are aiming for this path and not like something else, and then
Yeah,
they will give you the opportunity to make an impact.
exactly. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my principal engineer in our team is like amazing guy. He worked for Google for like, probably more than 10 years, and when you
Oh
work
wow.
with engineers like those, that's amazing feeling. I mean, I he actually gave me some review, some feedback about like how to do proper restructuring because I was impacting everyone's code, and at one point of time I was breaking things, and then he went through this like he I mean that means that he was looking carefully like what I'm doing and how I can probably improve things. I just ended up having a lot of conversation with him whenever I'm doing stuff. And one more important thing is to revalidate your ideas. Of course, you have 10 different things in your mind. Always revalidate with your colleagues. Like, okay, I want to do this, but what do you think will be the best way to do it? Right?
Right.
Don't feel
Yeah.
bad
Also.
that, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
generally we feel bad. Oh, why I'm verifying my ideas because I'm a great engineer. Of course, you can be a great engineer, but just think about it. There are people who are been doing this stuff more for a longer time than you, and
There's a
probably they
reason
don't
why we do it this way, not that way, right? So
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, it's like also a second opinion is always good. I found out myself that a lot of time when I start something and I thought myself that it's the best design ever, but then when I present it, then they point out that oh, I'm missing this. I didn't think about this. K. I didn't think about that. It's so good to have that second eye looking at things, and
exactly.
also maybe they can help you with the with advancing. Like for example, I have an idea building a tool. And then I talked to my colleagues, and then he said, "No, but wait, there's another team already do the same similar tool. You can just take that tool and elaborate it. That solve a
Yeah.
lot of issue, you know. Like it's also part of what you call leveraging other people work, and it's it's also kind of performance metrics for an engineer. So yep. Yeah. Okay. So just to wrap up, that's the first one. That's a great section. I think we cover a lot of things. And personally, I feel like I learned a lot from you regarding this. I just hope that we have a better setup. Sorry, Google Meet is at the end. I hope next time I will have, I don't know, StreamYard or something that more proper. And so, do you want to add anything, any show out, any shameless shameless plug for the podcast for yourself. Feel free to do it.
Only promote one thing that whatever you do, take some time out of your busy schedule. Go do some sports. I mean, if you can run, I mean that's great. Uh, Eat healthy, eat clean. I mean, I stopped sugar a year ago, and I see like the difference it had made to me personally. So I will always promote. Don't go for artificial sugar.
Oh
Just
yeah.
rely on fruits and everything, and that will help you with so many things. I mean, the best thing which has happened is like after eating clean, I get more clarity, I'm more active, I get more time in a day because
Right.
I can just sleep for 7 8 hours and then I feel fresh. And of course, take holidays,
Oh yeah.
go
Yeah,
travel.
I can guarantee with that. I did when I start running the first few weeks, feel very bad. Like I feel like I always want to sleep. But then after that, you like still I start feeling much more energetic, and I sleep better, and I wake up really early, and I start my day early, and I'm like very fresh. You think clearer and so on. So if you want to start part, do it now. Santos, follow Santos, and he will tell you all the tips and tricks for running.
Still asking people to give me tips, so
Nice, okay. We learn together. We learn together.
yeah.
I also don't know how to run properly. So, and but if you don't like to run, you can also take a break, standing right there, doing something like making a coffee from raw coffee, or making a matcha. Like I learned that when you do like something like this with matcha, it actually give you inner peace. Yeah, so I saw someone just standing there doing like this, and for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, I'm feeling much better." I like, "How did you feel much better?" So yeah, so anyway, so that was amazing, and just so the bottom line is take some break, take some rest, take care of your health, run, do exercise, anything, and you will feel much better afterwards, right? And of course, follow Santos, check out his podcast and YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and TikTok with Santos. And you haven't learned Angular, try it. It's awesome, not as view, but awesome. And for my, I think we talked about staff engineer. So I recommend this book, the Staff Engineer's Path. Yeah, and I'm sure that Santos will endorse this because this is an amazing book. It tells you anything that you want to know about being a staff plus engineer, even principal path, and it tells you how to get there, everything you need to know about this track. Another book is Staff Engineer from Will Larson. Similar to this book, I start to read about it, but well, we'll see how it goes. And lastly, follow my podcast. And if you enjoy the episode, so give a follow, subscribe to my podcast, and we will see each other in the next episode.